Hello, and thank you for choosing Pimp My Diecast Airways. And today we'll be flying with the Hot Wheels Too Much, or various names it's had, can't think of the others, but it all revolved around it having two engines. Except now it doesn't, because I used the other for a project. So I decided a long time ago, when I actually took the engine off, I was going to make a rod out of it, a normal single engine rod. And this is the basic casting I'm starting off with one engine missing and bits sawn down, and looking a bit sorry for itself. It turns out fairly nice in the end. It was only really a quick afternoon's project, it was nothing serious. It was just to make it back into something really. And it actually turns out fairly well at the end as it goes. But hey, there we go. And here we are, I'm just using my jeweler's saw. I'm actually making the cut for keeping the back end, because I want that hole in the chassis for attaching the body with the screw. I ended up later, I tried gluing it together without a plate, but I made a plate for in between the chassis rails later. Here I'm cutting off part of the rear of the engine, I think. Oh no, that's the interior I'm cutting off. I did cut a bit of the rear of the engine off. And at that point I was just trying to glue the chassis together with no bracing. It didn't work that well, so I tore it apart, cleaned it up, and then used bracing with it. I made a bit of brace for underneath, for between the chassis rails, with a piece of brass plate. Here I've put the brass plates in and I'm drilling the holes out, clearing them for the engine to go back on and for the body to go back on. Just drilling the brass plate there, making a start on it. Eventually I had to, there I've just took the glue out, eventually had to brace it on the table and drill. It's braced on the edge of the table there and drilling through the brass. And there you can see the brass plate and where I've drilled through. And here we go, put together how it's gonna be. The old blobs. And here, which bit were I doing? Oh, we're doing radiator grill here, etc. It had some nubs of plastic on, so I cut them off. And give it a file. Made it flatter. And here I'm just drilling so I can tap for a screw to put the body and chassis back together. I'm tapping with, I think it's 1.5, 1.8 milli drill, maybe a 1.8 if I remember. And then I tapped it out to 2 milli for the 2 milli screws I have. And here, it's going in the caustic bath of doom. And as per usual, it's Hot Wheels. Hot Wheels has cracking paint for staying on. It can be a bit of a bane to us restorers, but it's quite tough paint. It's quite resistant to both types of stripper. And here I'm just giving it a flirt around with toothbrush. and knocking it about. Just seeing how the paint's starting to flake, and bits of flake left in, you can see the lacquer peeling off. And here I'm sanding the roof using some sandpaper just to clean up and that. And once I'd done that, I actually discovered that it had ridges on the roof, so I ended up filing the ridges off the roof. Well, casting seam lines they were, and they were quite ugly looking things, so they had to be filed off, as is the case here. I'm just filing off these seam lines. And looking a lot better for that. I've done them on the corners and the rear of the roof, the sides of the roof, with quite a few seam lines. And here, I'm just putting it into grey primer. Seeing where we're up to and what it looks like. It's only a small casting though, so I'm pretty sure I've got it all as I want there even before the primer goes on. It's just a small square casting really. By no means perfect, but for an afternoon job, it was as far as I wanted to take it. As I say, the project was just to make something out of a car I'd used to build something else, more for entertainment value. I didn't even start it till 3 in the afternoon, to be honest, and it's, what, 7 now, and I'm more or less nearly finishing editing the video. And there's the paint going on. It's not actually paint as per usual. I've chosen nail varnish and it has a beautiful flake in it. The camera doesn't do it justice, to be honest. It has a beautiful, like, multicoloured sort of flake in it. I'm gonna have to get a camera that does these things justice. Something that's better on macro than the one I have. You just caught the flake there, then it bounced, but it's better if you can see it better, to be honest. A lot of my paint jobs, the camera doesn't do the flake justice, to be honest. And getting there, like you said, there's golds and different colour in the flakes, and it looks really nice. I think if I did it again though, I'd do a layer of green stuff, World's Inks red over the top of it as well, just to give the red a bit more boost. But other than that, yeah, oh, pretty happy. And here we are on the chassis. I think that's the Molotov pen I've got there. It is, and I did the exhausts in silver, a chrome. Touched a couple of bits in silver. And this is Dragster Dave's latest build, to be honest. Using it for the track. And next, after the exhausts, he'll be touching up the rims. And he usually does that Saturday, Sunday, because his girlfriend reckons there's nothing he likes better than a rim job. on Saturdays and Sundays. And anyway, here's where we finished up. It does look quite nice. I've done some glamour shots after the turntable because the turntable doesn't really do it justice. Because it kept rolling off as the turntable was turning. I put a pad underneath and that stopped it rolling, but it doesn't make it so you can see it nice. The glamour shots give it on the ground so it looks good. And coming up any moment we have some glamour shots of it, and it does look quite good. There we go, here's the first quarter one of it, looking nice in its new red paint and single engine. I think it looks better than the Hot Wheels version, to be honest. I think the twin engine made it look a bit silly. But here it looks a bit like a show rod. Looking pretty in its rubyish paint, and as I say, I'd probably go over it if I did it again in Green Stuff Worlds. Red inks to give it a deeper ruby paint job, but as it is, I'm quite satisfied with it. And all that remains to be said is thank you for watching. If you've enjoyed, please subscribe, as I get infinitely more actually watch the videos than subscribe. So it's only a matter of giving a quick push of the button to subscribe to my channel, where you'll be notified of any new builds that have come up. Especially if you ring the bell icon for notifications. And anyway, all that remains now to be said is thank you to my regular subscribers that stay subscribed, and take care in this new COVID world. Take care, people. Bye.